Thank you all for coming. My name is Robert McNamara. I'm the Deputy Director of Litigation at the Institute for Justice, a nationwide public interest law firm. I'm joined here today by my colleague, Bobby Taylor, by our local counsel, Joe Grather of the New Jersey eminent domain firm of McCurdy Riskin, and IJ clients, Honey Mirzone and Louisis Romero. We're also joined by a crowd of local supporters that is here to send the message that New Jersey will not tolerate eminent domain abuse. The Institute for Justice has fought for individual rights in federal and state courts nationwide for over 30 years, protecting economic liberty, free speech, and the issue that brings us here today, private property rights. We have won eminent domain cases all across the country, including 3 times here in the state of New Jersey, and we're here to talk about our latest case, fighting back against Perth Amboy's outrageous bogus blight designation. You'll hear from my colleague, Bobby Taylor. Then you'll hear from IJ clients, Honey and Louis, after which we'll be happy to take any questions you have. Thank you.
Thanks, Bob. Good morning, everyone. My name is Bobby Taylor. I'm also an attorney at the Institute for Justice. And we're here today, like Bob said, to fight this bogus blight designation by the city of Perth Amboy. I'm joined by our clients, Louisis Romero and Honey Mirzone, and Honey and Louis actually have a lot in common. They own property here on Smith Street. Louis owns this quick tire and auto shop, and Honey owns this 4-family apartment building. And their families also fled oppressive government regimes in other countries to come to America and make a better life for their children. And with the ownership of these properties, it seemed like Honey and Louis were well on their way to creating their American dream. But the city of Perth Amboy had other plans. You see, the city wants these properties, not because there's anything wrong with them, but because they envision something better in their place. So they've designated these properties as blighted, which is basically a convenient label that they can use to take the properties with eminent domain and give them to a private developer. But these properties aren't blighted. Blight under New Jersey law requires real evidence that these properties are dilapidated, unsafe, and causing actual harm to the community. Perth Amboy has none of that. So in order to blight these properties, they've pointed to things like a few pieces of litter or the presence of a stray cat. But the government can't take your property using eminent domain just because someone saw a cat. That's absurd. And again, these properties aren't blighted. Honey and her mom spent hundreds of thousands of dollars in upgrades to this apartment building in the decade that they've owned it. And Louis's tire shop has been in the area for 40 years. It services customers daily. And so Louis and Honey are here to fight back, to fight against eminent domain abuse, because if their properties are not safe from eminent domain abuse because of things like litter or a stray cat, then really no one's property in Perth Amboy is safe. So I'd like to bring up Honey, who will speak a little bit more about her property and what this means to her.
Thank you, Bobby. Good morning, everyone. My name is Honey Mirzone, and my mother and I own the 4-family at 505-507 Smith Street in Perth Amboy, a home we've invested our hearts, our savings, and our future into. Now the city wants to take it away, not because it's unsafe or it's neglected. It's not. They just want to sell it off to the highest bidder and make room for luxury apartments and warehouses. This isn't about public need. This is about private greed. We worked hard to maintain our property. We've invested over $150,000 in upgrades, installing brand new fire alarm systems, replacing the entire sewer line, adding a new roof, putting on new siding. We've kept the property up to code, and we've never received a single violation. When I bought this home, I took out every loan possible I could find to be able to make the American dream a reality. I believe that if I worked hard and took care of my property, I would have something to pass on to my children that are behind me. But now I'm being told that my hard work doesn't matter, that my sacrifices and my tenants' lives are disposable. The city claims my building is too close to the street, but so are tens and thousands of them in Perth Amboy and across New Jersey. Are they next? At a recent planning meeting, the city's own planner admitted they were targeting our properties for this particular reason, at this particular time. That tells you everything you need to know. Perth Amboy families are all next. Our tenants called the police one time for a cardiac arrest call. This was a reason they claimed to condemn us. We filed a lawsuit to fight back, not just for ourselves, but for every small property owner and business owner who fears that they could be next. The government should not be in the business of tearing down families and communities just to hand land to private developers. We are not blighted. We are not forgotten. We are not for sale. We will not be torn down. True redevelopment lifts people up. It does not push them down. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Louisis Romero. I own the property and the business on 509 Smith Street. We have been here over 40 years. It's been a family business for many years, since 1976. We have served the community faithfully, and we have received very good reports, always in reference to our service here. The community benefits from our service, as we also, and my employees. I employ 6 people full time. They all depend on on their jobs here in this property. It is very sad and devastating that the city decided to take these properties and label them blighted, where, in our opinion, it is not. We maintain our properties very well. Obviously, of course, there's always more to do, and that we're always willing to do. But we have never had any code violations, any health issues here, no zoning, no safety issues, no complaints of any sort. Uh, we feel that, again, I say, is very unjust the way they take your property here. I come from a country where my father migrated here for the American dream, and I am following after him. I try to do this, follow his footsteps, and to realize today now that what happened in my country, in Cuba, is happening here. The only thing right now, it is happening legally, and it's sad to go through this right now. I would have never thought that I would be going through this today. And I feel also for the rest of the community in this city, as Honey said, it's happening to us. Tomorrow will be them. So I reach out to the community and thank them for their support and hope that we will be successful and we will fight. We will not give up. So thank you again for your time.
Anybody has any questions?
So can you walk us through now what happens next? Where do we go from
Well, it largely depends on what the city decides to do. We filed the lawsuit this morning. They could always decide to do the sensible thing and reconsider. If not, we'll go to court.
We know eminent domain is a big talker in certain communities in this immediate area. Why do you think that is?
Well, New Jersey law allows governments to take property using eminent domain if they're blighted, right? So what we're seeing is basically the definition of blight be expanded to criteria that could apply to anybody's property. The government wants the property. They want them, not because there's anything wrong with them, but because they envision something better. And this is a convenient way to get to take them. So, they blight over things like litter or being too close to the street or the fact that the police stopped here every once in a while. These aren't dangerous things. These aren't unsafe things, and they're not reason to take property.
And what precedent do you think might this set should, in fact, eminent domain move forward in this case?
If what precedent we're hoping it sets is that the New Jersey courts agree that the way that Perth Amboy is using the term blight is just egregious and frankly embarrassing. And hopefully it sets the precedent to other municipalities in New Jersey that they can't do things like this going forward.
Can you explain to me where I can see the light on this building?
I can't. Can you? Can anybody? Anybody else?
I want to do a one-on-one interview on the side after.